Hi, welcome back to the TV Trifecta. That's the TV. We're the Trifecta, a trio of men who talk about a trio of topics: TV shows, movies, and video games. I'm your host for today's episode, Aaron, and today we're going to be talking about not particularly a movie, but a section of movies. Ignore him. The first phase of the MCU. I am joined by my fellow hosts. Who are you, sir?
My name is Alarm.
His name is Alarm. And what about you, sir?
We're laughing, man. I couldn't breathe.
So how are you guys doing?
The way my hat was on my nose, I couldn't breathe.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
How are you guys doing today?
My nose feels weird.
That's not answering my question.
And my nose feels weird. That's all I'm doing.
How are you doing?
That's all I'm doing tonight.
Ignore that.
My nose
How are you doing? How's the rest of you doing? How did you enjoy doing what we did right before this?
My elbow does feel a little wonky.
Oh, that's upsetting. You don't got.
I
full range of
enjoyed
motion?
it very much. By the way, half the time that I was gone, I was stuck over there trying to turn left. That was most of me
For
being
context, we forgot the mouse. I forgot the mouse. And the one thing that we need to do this, so he had to go to Office Depot, and we set everything up, and apparently got stuck turning left.
I was in Office Depot for 30 seconds.
Yep, I know, because you were gone for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, and most of that was trying to turn left.
Mm-hmm. Right, but my topic is, since we're switching things up, I talked about a video game last time. Today I'm talking about movie, not technically, movies. The reason for this is because we mentioned this before. If we were going to talk about a series of movies, we talk about the whole series because we can't go through all of those movies. I mean, we can.
Unless
it
you
would
want
just take too long.
It
It would take way too long to do. Maybe
like
one day. but-
50 episodes.
episodes?
If we did one movie per.
Oh, you're right. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a lot.
And that's not even counting the TV shows,
Yep.
which we could talk about. But not today.
True.
Today we're talking about these movies. Iron Man 1, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and The Avengers.
And then Love and Thunder.
And then Love and Thunder.
Oh my God.
Yes. No, of course not.
No, that's not.
But what I'm wanting to do is first just do a small, concise thing of going through each movie individually, and then discuss our favorite things about each of those movies, and least favorite things about those movies. Okay?
Easy.
I see.
I know. Easy. But starting with the wonderful first one, in my opinion, still the best origin movie in the MCU, Iron Man 1. The thing that started the
Thanos.
entire MCU that probably wouldn't have happened if not, would have happened much later if it weren't for Iron Man 1.
I think the best
If
origin
he
story is
didn't
Doctor Strange.
stop.
That's
with
great. My
his
opinion does not
addictions
change.
And drugs. Then we wouldn't have Iron Man.
Right, so...
You know
Sure,
what?
man.
I'm really glad Robert Downey Jr. went into drugs.
You can't say that! You just can't say stuff like that. Why is it always you?
But if he didn't, we wouldn't have Iron Man and how he is today.
Okay.
We wouldn't have had Avengers Endgame if Robert Downey Jr. didn't throw his life.
So anyway,
away.
Tony Stark at the
20
beginning of Iron Man 1 was a bit of a dick. Just a womanizer asshole. Weapons
Stinson?
manufacturer.
That's how-
What? Barney Stinson? What?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a TV show.
that is a TV show. But that's not what we're
And
talking about
we're
today,
not
is
talking
it?
about that.
We're not, sirs.
But-
No, we're not.
But yeah,
But as the
that's
movie
how
goes on,
every superhero origin
They
story
start out
starts.
as an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except Captain America. And Bruce Banner.
Captain
Somewhere
America
down the line,
was
they
an
were.
asshole, too. He was so scrawny and he made me mad.
You just hate skinny people.
It just made me so mad. He was so inconsiderate, looking that weird.
The CGI body.
By far,
With also a body double.
Yeah.
By far worse CGI. I hated how skinny he was.
He's ungrateful. He did not like the body that he got, so he just did bodybuilding in seconds.
Yep. He just lifted a single barbell and got buff.
And immediately just.
Yep.
And then Haley Atwell fell in love.
And then she died.
Who wouldn't? Look at him.
Hey,
And then she died. And he
We're
lost
talking
her.
about Iron Man 1 right now.
Yeah.
As the movie goes on, it starts. It just effectively
It does.
starts
I hope
with him being attacked by terrorists
oh yeah, right out the gate.
by his own weapon as well. And then they show us how it got to that point, which I actually really like the way they did that.
I
I
like
like
that they
when
went
movies
back.
do that sometimes. Other times I don't think it works as well, but I think specifically in Iron Man 1 it works really well.
Another
Yeah.
movie. This is a little off topic, but
You're off topic.
it's still superhero.
Yeah, we know.
Another movie that works very well with is Megamind. How it starts.
It
with
starts
him
in the
fall.
it starts near the very end.
Yeah, with him falling. And
Spoilers for Megamind. If you haven't seen the movie that came out
Like,
probably like
spoilers
10,
for the opening
10 or so years
scene
ago.
of
Yep.
Megamind.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Correct.
Which came out years ago.
Yes.
In case you haven't seen that yet. For whatever reason.
Spoiler alert.
It's because-
The movie starts.
It's because I said it was near the end. Get on with your point.
Spoiler, that's how the movie starts.
That movie does a good job with
Yes.
like hooking you right at the beginning. You're like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
okay,
hooks
that's an impossible situation. How will
Mhm.
Megamind ever get out of it? And working toward that, and they don't do it in a cheap way. It's not like it's like, oh, okay, well that's stupid how he survived that.
Mhm.
No, it actually made sense how he survived that.
Mhm.
It was
It
very
was very cool. But Iron Man.
Yeah. Iron Man
Um,
effectively has
you are not supposed to like him
no
for like the first half hour of
Obviously
the movie.
not.
oh yeah.
Who would like that?
Okay, so I have I
Another
love
tangent?
the fun facts. So
Do you?
Stan Lee,
I think it's the. I was about to say this one fact.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Stan Lee was told by people, they're like, oh man, superheroes are so charismatic, everyone loves them and stuff like that, and they're like, there's no character that's like an asshole, and he's like,
Yep. He
He-
specifically made Iron Man at a time where people wouldn't like him, and they still liked him.
and he made Iron Man as a character effectively for you to hate him. Tony Stark
Especially
was
at
made to
first.
be hated, and it is hilarious that he is considered
One of the
one of the
characters.
best superhero characters of all time.
Especially because of the MCU specifically.
Yeah, before that, no one cared about who Iron Man
I
was.
did. I cared about Iron Man.
The animated
It was the
shows were
first
cool.
Marvel movie I ever watched.
Iron Man 1? Nice. I think mine was Thor.
Before.
What?
Actually, that's not very impressive. It was a lot of first Marvel movies for
I watched that late.
He's
okay.
Good
Like that's when Iron Man 1 and 2
but as it
3
goes
were out,
on,
and I watched
he-
them all together.
The first Harry Potter movie I watched was the first Harry Potter.
First Harry Potter movie I watched was Deathly Hallows Part 2.
You
Couldn't
know,
even
I
get
watched
through it.
I watched the
You're
first
the
movie
joke.
first. I watched the first movie first.
Uh-huh. But anyway, as the movie goes on, he sees the problems that his weapons have caused.
And he makes it worse.
No, what happens is once he escapes from the terrorists, because he does get captured by them, he escapes and changes that. He doesn't want to do that anymore. He just wants to protect people now.
Yep.
Protect them from himself and people using him.
Which is ironic given the rest of the MCU.
Very ironic. But as it goes on, his dad's friend and technically specifically
It's
that.
like his mentor.
Yeah. Obadiah Stane, played by the amazing Jeff Bridges.
And awesome name.
He built stuff in a cave with a bunch of scraps.
He is the best line in the MCU. Nothing's changed. I would say it, but I don't want to peek the mic.
Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
I'm not Tony Stark. You just
I'm not Tony Stark.
Tony Stark. Fun fact: the guy who plays that guy in Far From Home
Yep.
is Ralphie
He's
from
the-
A Christmas Story.
Oh. I was gonna just say he was the drones guy from Far From Home
Yeah.
too.
Who's the guy from A Christmas Story? He's the kid.
Wow.
He's Ralph,
Oh my god.
Wow.
He got old.
who is also an elf.
Of course he is.
That's just fun facts.
Didn't he play the same character enough?
No. No, he played an elf.
Oh, I'm thinking of the second A Christmas Story.
My lord.
We're not talking about Christmas.
No, we're not. But Obadiah Stane is secretly the one who planned his kidnapping. Whoa! And wanted to get him killed and out of the way.
And it worked.
And
For a
it
time.
worked.
He
For like
died.
a few months.
He died for a few months.
Anyway, it's just, I really like Iron Man 1. It's still one of my favorite MCU movies.
Best suit ever.
I know people say the MCU had a villain problem in the first few movies. I don't think they had that much fun. Because I think Obadiah Stane was a great first villain.
So
For Tony Stark. He's a great villain.
Obadiah is the only villain in Phase 1, besides Loki, that I felt was compelling to be the same, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because Obadiah's whole thing was he's piggybacking on Howard's legacy.
Yeah.
And now he is trying to piggyback on Tony's future and take it for himself.
Mhm.
And he's also like, what the fuck? Why are you ruining what Stark Industries is?
Mhm.
And he's like, oh, well, you have the arc reactor. You've miniaturized. You miniaturized. it.
Yes.
Mhm. And
Obadiah's
he
win.
was like, that's the future right there. Which, yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Effectively, that
It was.
became the future of all technology in the MCU. But that was compelling because it's like, of course, his entire goal was to basically become the Stark Industries guy. Like, he was going to become the next Stark by not even putting in. And that's his entire character. So it makes sense that he would become like Iron Man.
The Ironmonger.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not what it's called until the toys came out.
Yeah. I
have one.
Not said in that.
He does say Ironmonger,
Does
but
he?
he says we're Ironmongers.
Oh.
But that exactly.
That's
What in the-
But also I don't think he would be as I wouldn't like him as much if he wasn't played expertly by Jeff Bridges,
That's true.
who did an
Jeff
amazing
Bridges.
job making that guy intimidating as just a regular person.
I love that
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges came in to the MCU, started the MCU,
And never
gave
come back.
the best performance of his life,
And they
then
said
just
no.
didn't come back.
Nope.
They were like,
He
no,
died.
we can't have
Years.
this.
But Iron Man 1 ends with him just revealing his identity to the public because he doesn't care.
That is a great moment. Because
I am Iron Man.
fun fact: Robert Downey Jr. improvised that.
Fun fact.
That was not in the script. The script was supposed to be where he just covers everything up, and
When you say improvised, do you mean like while they
He
were
just
filming
did it?
or right before they started filming?
literally the take that you see is the first time Kevin Feige ever saw the I Am Iron Man scene. That take was used in the final cut and became the
Nice.
best ending of the MCU.
So great.
Such a good ending.
Which is unrelated to the next movie we're going to talk about, The Incredible Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk, yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad movie.
I rewatched it this
Recently.
year. Well, I watched all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe up till Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I have not brought myself to watch that again. Anyway,
Well,
We're not talking
hold
about
on,
that, are
hold
we?
we're
on
not
for a
talking
minute.
about that
Yes.
one, and if we were,
Let's-
I would be mad.
Let's ask an important question.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guys' favorite Iron Man suit?
You can't say that. You can't ask me that question. I like all of them.
The one he wears in the Incredible Hulk, which is what we're talking about.
He
Wow.
does wear a suit. You're right.
He wears.
You're right. He does wear a suit. Oh, I forgot to mention Iron Man 1. The
You forgot to
post-credit
mention
scene.
the movie we talked about.
Express
Oh,
references
shit.
the
I forgot
Avengers
about that.
initiative.
Oh yeah.
with Samuel L. Jackson just
At the end of
suddenly there.
Mm-hmm. Which is not
with
the
Black
first
Widow.
Marvel movie they started doing post-credit scenes in. I don't remember what that one was, though.
Huh?
It was not an MCU movie.
Probably
I think it was Last Stand.
Hmm.
Because they didn't have post-credit scenes in the first two X-Men movies. Unrelated. I just had that thought.
Yeah, The Last Stand, because it revealed Charles was still alive.
I don't know if that was the first Marvel movie to have that.
But that was before.
But I just wanted to point out the post-credit scene. But the Incredible Hulk, all about Bruce Banner and his wonderful other personality.
And his
The Hulk
wonderful
is
best
green.
friend, who actually doesn't exist. It is actually him. And they make a fight club together. And
You just
it's Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. It's an amazing movie. And
for some reason, Henry
whole
Ford as
entire
Red Hulk.
city landscape crumbles to dust as "Where Is My
Why are
Mind"
you
by the Pixies
doing
plays.
this to people? What is the point?
And
Do you
his,
get pleasure from this?
Where is
And-
my mind?
and his other best friend, which is his purple pants that, for some reason, just can stay on him and not rip apart.
And his greatest best friend,
Stretchy
the
pants.
bullet in his head at the end of Fight Club.
Why are you spoiling Fight Club? What is the point of this? Why are you doing this to people?
Because they should
Do you get happiness from their suffering?
Yes.
Because they should have watched it.
Anyway, Incredible Hulk. Damn it. God damn it.
You should
With
have
Edward
watched
Norton.
these before
With
we
Edward
started
Norton.
talking about them, even though you didn't know.
I liked it.
I like
Norton as Hulk.
I
wish
also
he,
like the movie.
You know,
It is one of my least favorites.
that's fair.
But I think it's a very good movie.
I think it's a fine movie. It's
I also don't know how much I really need to talk about the plot because it's really just him trying to escape the military.
the plot is very straightforward. He wants to escape the military. He also wants to figure out where his blood went.
He farts
in
and
case
nukes
someone
half
becomes-
the city.
No, no, he does
And,
not.
Suddenly,
And then this military guy who they gave a special super soldier serum to starts turning into a creature.
and
And he was great up until the point where he became obsessed with having the super strength.
literally his entire
Of
character
duty.
arc was, oh, I'm a soldier and I want to be better, I want to be stronger and a better soldier. And then eventually he's just like,
I want more power.
I want more power, and
He was such a cool character before that point.
yeah. Emil was a great character,
Mm-hmm.
but then he became that, and then he became what he is in She-Hulk.
we don't talk about She-Hulk. We're not talking about that, are we? Hey.
We're not talking about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, no.
No. But I think that is a good Hulk movie. I think Edward Norton was good as Bruce Banner. I do think Mark Ruffalo is better for the Bruce Banner that they were trying to get in Avengers. I think they were both very good at the Bruce Banner that they were trying to play.
I see this as an
See,
absolute win.
this is tricky because I love Edward Norton and I love Mark Ruffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are outstanding actors. And I
Yes.
don't know which one would have been better, really, because they both kind of give their all in the same kind of vein. I think Mark Ruffalo looks like the Bruce Banner type,
Mm-hmm.
while Edward Norton,
Has the Hulk look.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, Tobey Maguire. He is great as Spider-Man, but his Peter Parker isn't as compelling.
This
as
is the
Andrew
meme that goes
Garfield.
around.
Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, amazing and compelling. His Spider-Man,
Same
Not as
character. We're
compelling.
talking about the Hulk.
it's the same kind of concept.
Mm-hmm.
Two
I think they
different
both did
people
very
playing
good
the-
jobs. I also understand why they kept Mark Ruffalo.
I don't understand why they got rid of Norton.
I'm pretty sure it's because of behind the scenes stuff that he was difficult to work with or something like that.
Maybe. I know
But
that was
I don't know.
kind of like the claim with Terrence Howard.
Mm-hmm.
why Rhodey has
Because he has
face.
more money. I don't know if that's true.
He said himself that
Oh,
he
so-
asked for more money than Robert Downey Jr.
Who is the main
Which
character?
is the main character. Yeah. It didn't matter that Terrence Howard was more famous. He wasn't the main character.
No, they usually pay more famous people more than the actor.
This is fair. But
Here's the thing: he was
They did
he was paid more for Iron Man.
probably, yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
But anyway,
I think he wanted more money.
The Incredible Hulk is not a very complicated story. It's very straightforward, very simple. He's got himself, Betty Ross, who's the daughter of the man hunting him,
And his
which is
purple
very
shorts.
and
Who
the
is
purple
now
stretchy
Harrison
pants, which they
Ford.
make a joke about. What?
Who is now Harrison Ford.
Who is now Harrison Ford? That is correct. But I think it's a decent movie. I like it. It is not my favorite of the MCU.
It's
Now, Iron Man 2
Alright.
is a fun one. I actually having rewatched it, it's pretty fun. It is a fun movie, and I actually really like Whiplash.
Okay,
I really like,
here's the thing.
unironically,
I do
What?
have a lot to say about
I unironically like Iron Man.
fair.
Iron Man, of course, Iron Man. But Whiplash is fun to see on the screen.
I have a lot to say about Iron Man 2.
It has one of the coolest lines. Do you want to talk about Iron Man 2? You want to
A little bit.
explain the plot?
I mean, I want to explain
Why
Tony's
you hate it with
story.
every fiber of
Go
your
ahead.
being?
I'm the host, but I'll give you the floor.
Iron Man 2 is the worst Iron Man. However,
Iron Man movie? Yes.
Yes. However, it is the best Tony Stark story. I think. Because the whole time he is trying to grasp what his legacy is, what he is doing. And this movie, rewatching it all over again, I realized how much it points to the rest of the MCU and what Tony does. Iron Man 1 was all about him becoming Iron Man. There wasn't a Iron Man yet. That wasn't Tony Stark is Iron Man. This movie really delves into Tony Stark really is Iron Man. They are one. They are not like two separate people. They are not two separate personalities. It is really one persona, one hero. And that beforehand was never ever seen in a superhero movie. It's always been, oh, I have this secret double life, you know? Besides maybe Blade. Blade was pretty good at that too. And X-Men to some extent. But that's kind of like a whole entire roster of characters. But this focused on one person that was unashamedly just Iron. And the whole time he is trying to figure out what even his purpose of being a hero is, what kind of hero he will be, what he is going to do with this power that he has been given.
And he grapples with his own mortality.
And he grapples with his own mortality in this one. And I really like the line that he has. And it kind of saddened me, but it was cool. Where I don't remember if it was Black Widow or Pepper he was talking to, but it was someone like that. He goes, if you knew this was your last birthday, what would you do?
I think it was Black Widow.
And that's what I was kind of envisioning. I was envisioning Scarlett Johansson. But he asks her, he's like, what would you do if you knew this was your last birthday? How would you celebrate? And that's such a simple question, but it shows a lot about what he was dealing with in that movie.
He fully believed he was going to die.
He did. He believed he was going to die.
And he would have.
Wanted to do something with his life that mattered. And he wasn't ready to die yet. That really points to the rest of the MCU and how Tony's rest of his story goes. I mean, for crying out loud, he lives another 14 years after,
Mm-hmm.
and he does the unthinkable. He becomes one of the greatest heroes of all time, both in that universe and outside of it.
It is underrated.
Hmm.
It is, I think, a big reason why I didn't like it at first, when I first watched it, is the ending.
The ending is not great.
And the final fight with Whiplash, because it lasts for maybe 10, 30 seconds.
Yeah,
This is not
It just
long
kind
at
of
all.
happens.
that they basically just fight Hammer's robots.
I love Justin Hammer.
And,
No, that's not the problem. The problem is the final fight with Whiplash himself.
Well, that's what I mean. Basically, that entire fight is them fighting the robots, and
Which is
then
cool.
Whiplash comes in
and dies
they,
almost immediately
They
after.
kill him immediately.
That's so boring.
They kill him
no.
immediately by accident, and I don't mean like they
weren't.
accidentally killed him in the fight.
They didn't know they were gonna blow him up by
They-
shooting each other.
Well, they did. Is the
They
thing.
did it because of their previous fight.
Because of their fight. That
Rhodey,
they
by
had
the way.
randomly.
Rhodey.
Yeah.
They had that fight randomly, and it was pure luck that they did that thing and realized, oh, that has
Yeah,
a
foreshadowing.
pretty big. It was a good foreshadowing.
It's not the fact that happened. It's just the fact
It's
that
just-
the fight lasted so little time.
It
That,
wasn't
here's the
enough
problem.
to send.
We're
off the
ranting
character.
now.
Here's the fucking problem. Your fight with the main villain
Mm-hmm.
is 30 seconds long. When your fight between the main two protagonists that was played for jokes is like 5 minutes long?
Which is a great fight. It was great. It was so fun to watch.
Fuck you, Marvel Studios. Stop. I love you, Marvel Studios. Evan
Uh-huh.
Feige,
Also,
give me a call.
another
Sponsor
thing
us.
is that Whiplash's armor was pretty much just
It was-
Ironmonger with
The hammer drones.
with whips.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Whiplash. I like
Which
he's
I
a very
guess
good
is-
villain.
Cool, but still they could have did something else.
It was a very cool concept that
Mm-hmm.
was done right up until the end, and that just tainted his legacy.
Let's
Though-
talk about Whiplash.
Though the moment where he was on that track and started whipping the cars,
great.
that
awesome.
scene was
That's
terrifying.
Whiplash. That is what Whiplash should have been the whole
He
movie.
was so cool.
That was like the best scene in the entire movie.
But speaking of the villain Whiplash, a lot of people think he's not a good villain. He is. He's
He
a
is.
good villain.
He is a
He has
great
one of the
villain.
best lines was if you can make God bleed, people will cease to believe it.
And I think about that line a lot.
Specifically because they brought it back in Infinity War.
With
With-
Thanos.
Yep, exactly. But he I found him so interesting, and apparently they cut out like 90% of his scenes.
What the fuck?
They recorded like a lot more of him, and he's in the movie for like 15 minutes.
They're like, oh, Sam Rockwell's in this movie. Let's give him all the lines.
Justin Hammer was great though.
Justin Hammer was great.
He
but
was
they
Freaking
really
amazing.
sacrificed-
I loved him so
but
much.
they focused
really
on him
sacrificed
way
and
too
he was
much.
he was not the villain. He was funny. He was really funny. I loved him so much, but he was not the villain, and he shouldn't have been the main.
He wasn't
focus.
even a threat.
No.
He just took the robots and turned into something else.
But-
And that was it.
He was
It
a
also
fucking
developed. This movie also developed Tony's relationship with Pepper.
coward. Yes.
Very
and
well.
Rhodey.
And Rhodey. And I think it was a very good movie.
I like the end
It's
of,
a good movie on a rewatch, but it's I think it still has a lot of weak points.
I really do like the end of the movie, like after the fight, where Tony is on the rooftop
Uh-huh.
with Rhodey, and he
Give him my
puts the
suit.
necklace on Rhodey and kisses him passionately.
Oh.
Um,
And Pepper watches from
And they
The
start
background.
making out.
and
Oh.
that really secretes,
Secretes.
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 That really secretes their
Secretion.
relationship.
and then Obadiah ropes down from the ceiling
rises
and
down
he
from the
says,
heavens.
"Oh, I'm Ironmonger," and then he just
Dies again.
dives out of the building.
Obadiah comes from the dead, and he's like, "That bitch gay," and then he
That's
dies.
gay.
And then he climbs back into the floor.
That bitch was gay in a cave.
Oh my god!
He was gay
With a box of
in a
porn
cave.
bags.
with the box of dildos. He built this sex toy in a cave with a box of porn bags. The dildo Mark 1. Iron Man's first suit.
Oh god. Anyway, do you have anything else to say about Iron Man 2? That is going in the funny moments, sir. You better.
Post credits.
I'll have to remember.
Post credits.
It's 35 minutes in.
I gotta remember what the post-credit scene of that was.
Oh, no,
Oh.
it was Dick Fury saying he's not ready.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it was also Coulson arriving at the hammer.
Yeah.
Mjolnir. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was the other one.
Which is.
Yeah, it was basically Fury putting Tony on the back burner, and also
Which is
Tony-
very funny considering Avengers.
and also telling him that he needs to go consult with a man, and that is
And also saying that Black Widow said that
Incredible.
Iron Man should be in Avengers, not Tony.
Yeah.
Iron Man is ready. Tony's not.
which is really funny
Mhm.
because the whole movie's point was they are the same.
Uh-huh.
They are literally the same.
Uh-huh.
There's no difference.
So,
line was kind of like.
final thoughts on Iron Man 2.
Ending ruined
I think
it
it's
all.
a fun movie.
But
The
most of
ending
movie
was
good.
disappointing, but I still enjoyed the movie.
It was still very enjoyable. Controversial. We're going on to Thor. There's a reason I say that. I'll talk about that later. But Thor one,
worst movie ever.
no.
Dutch tilt.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of those, and I actually think they were used very good. I don't think they were overused quite a lot. There were a lot of them.
If your movie
90% of it
Dutch?
was Dutch tilt.
Please
if your
stop.
movie if your movie looks correct when a dog is looking at you like this, something's wrong.
Something's wrong with your
What?
movie.
When a dog's looking at you like this,
Tilting its head.
it's Dutch
It's
tilt.
a Dutch tilt.
Oh.
Is
The
like,
whole movie's like this.
oh my gosh.
Oh.
I think Thor one
It's been a while since I've seen it. That
is fun.
makes
movie.
me angry for some reason.
It's very fun. It starts generally with Thor, Odin's son.
Thor, Odin's son.
That's his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Thor.
voted.
Thor,
A
Odin's son.
very arrogant child. Adult man, but child.
And he's
Um,
blonde. So it
and
makes it
Very
so it makes it
blonde. His
better.
eyebrows were bleached.
Yeah.
And he's blonde, so it makes it fine.
Really weird.
They also voiced Ryan.
Pax.
Great. What's that got to do with anything?
He's Chris Hemsworth.
Great. You know, fun fact: Tom Hiddleston actually originally auditioned for Thor.
And there is an audition.
There
tape,
is an
and it's
audition tape of him
hilarious.
as Thor.
It looks so
Weird, yeah. But Thor is Thor becoming more compassionate and more human near the end, and I think that's a great plot.
I thought the plot was Tom Hiddleston's fine ass.
I will stop this recording right now if you keep doing that, sir.
That's what we're talking about.
Do you think he toms on my fiddle till I start?
That's on camera now. That's on camera. He could see this.
He never.
You're right, but he could.
And the off chance that is 0.001%, yes.
She Chris's my head.
No! She blacks my widow till like Scarlett Johansson. So I know what you're gonna say.
So Thor is probably my least favorite of Phase 1. And I don't
Yeah,
think that's
it's mine too.
Or unpopular.
It's not an unpopular opinion.
It's a popular opinion.
I found him boring.
The whole movie was pretty boring, I think. The only
But
really
it had some
compelling-
great scenes,
It
like
does.
in the rain when he was trying to pick up his hammer.
which is a great scene.
It's an
And
amazing
it's
scene.
the introduction to Hawkeye too.
It is, which is very weird.
Great.
It is
theme.
very weird.
Kind of an
Rewatch
awkward
it.
introduction.
Rewatching it, it's like, what the hell Hawkeye is in this scene? Oh my god.
Why?
It's like, Jeremy Renner, what are you doing?
He had to come from somewhere, and it was from the darkness.
And use a gun.
But
No.
the movie was sort of boring.
It was long. It felt.
was-
It
way
felt
too
like
long.
it dragged on.
So,
One of my biggest disappointments is the way they use the Destroyer.
oh yeah,
It's way
that
more
was
interesting
terrible.
in the comic.
that was terrible.
In this movie, it's just an automaton.
It was just a looming threat that wasn't a threat.
It was just something to get
It looked
Thor
very good, but
powerful again.
the movie is not bad.
And protect.
It's a
when he
fun
loves.
movie. There are times where it's very fun.
It's
Like every time in Asgard.
a movie with good moments.
And-
It's
And
a
Mia
five. It, here's the problem. You've got Thor, right? And he's the least interesting character
when he should be
of the
boss.
entire movie, which is wrong. That is very wrong.
Yeah,
The most interesting characters of the movie
is Loki.
Is everyone
well
else?
is Loki and the fucking humans,
Uh-huh. And
not
Jane
the people in Asgard that are basically gods and have this high-tech civilization.
but literally
that
people
is
on Earth.
The first
So we're
cosmic
ranting now
thing we
again.
see-
Huh. Okay.
First cosmic thing we see.
It's just
That's
people-
not as interesting
It's just
as the
people
humans.
on Earth just examining his hammer. That's it.
Fucking humans that are like
He's very
Einstein
passionate about
Rosenbridge.
this.
Einstein
Oh, talking about the
Rosenbridge.
second phase of the MCU is going to be
Oh.
controversial.
Yeah.
Because I love Iron Man 3.
Because I love the Dark World.
Oh no!
Yes! Yes, I do, fellas, but we're not talking about that today. Continue ranting about Thor 1. No, 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 no.
is better
Yeah, pad the time.
No, yeah, I know. Continue.
Pad the time.
Pad the time. Come on, we're only 40 minutes in. We're still going to talk about Iron Man and the Avengers.
4-1.
Oh. It just fully went.
4-1
Is gay.
No,
is alright.
it is an alright. I wouldn't say it's bad.
I wouldn't say it's bad.
It
It
is,
is boring.
yes.
But-
Which, to be fair, there are times where you can make a boring entertaining.
Right. With Breaking Bad. That is a great...
Stop bringing up Breaking Bad.
Hold on, no. That is a great example on stuff that is boring, but it's entertaining.
Sorry, if you mentioned The Fly.
No, I wasn't actually. Because that's a very exciting episode, ironically.
You know it's the lowest rated episode?
I know. And it's not even really lower rated. It's like 7.9.
But it's funny
Which is
because
still the
he
lowest rated.
falls
It is
trying
the
to
lowest
hit the
rated.
fly.
Anyway, yeah, continue.
Anyway, so technically I'm talking about Better Call Saul with this example, but Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are great examples of
Better
boring
Call
but
Bad.
entertaining. So Kolten and I actually have been watching Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Right now we're finishing Better Call Saul season 3, and moving on. You know, last time we watched it, which was yesterday, we watched a 5-minute long scene of Mike Ehrmantraut, one of the main characters, disassembling a car in its entirety. Almost all just montage of him silently disassembling a car and trying to find a tracker the entire time. And it is 5 minutes of him just trying to figure this out and getting this car completely disassembled, not finding it, then figuring out in a waiting room that the fuel cap might be where it's hidden, because there was a little thing that comes off that separates the tube into the car and the actual cap. So he goes and takes it off. Bam, there's the tracker. And then he rewires the tracker to kind of do whatever he wants it to do and figure out how it works. That scene, the disassembling one is like 5 minutes. That tracker scene is like another 5 minutes. That's 10 minutes in total of almost complete silence of Mike Ehrmantraut just figuring this out. And I gotta say, I wasn't bored once. You?
I wasn't. I find it quite enjoyable because it's my garbage
Uh-huh.
He's
Stop grabbing the mic. It
he-
might fall.
He's the final boss.
Stop
of-
grabbing the mic.
What? It's gonna fall.
Don't grab it. Why is it doing
Is it not?
Have you tried doing that?
Oh.
But anyway, that's an
stuff
example
like
of
that.
boring being done well.
Exactly.
Thor 1 does not do that.
No.
It does it.
But like,
Every
there are scenes that I
now
think they do
and then.
really well. For example, the diner scene where he goes another.
Another! That
Breaks
is
the
one of
cup.
the best jokes of the entire MCU.
It's so funny.
I love that joke.
It's so great. They never bring it back.
There was never another.
No, I think if I rewatch it, my opinion would probably change.
Okay, here's
Because
the
I
thing.
haven't rewatched it in a while.
I did rewatch it in light of Thor: Love and Thunder. That movie is golden in comparison.
Uh-huh.
It's so good.
This
It is so good, and it does Thor way more justice than Thor: Love and Thunder.
We're not talking about Love and Thunder. We're
I'm
talking
about Love and Thunder.
No, we're talking about the first phase
Listen
of the
here,
MCU.
Taika Waititi.
Don't do that to the man. Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi. Waititties.
Twak
Taika
titties.
Wa my titties.
No.
Twak titties.
Talk to a. The Talk to a
Wow.
podcast.
Welcome back to
The
the Talk to a
podcast.
podcast.
Hi, welcome back to
We are
Distractable.
sponsored by the Haktwa Pack.
Talk to
Wah.
Anyway, Thor 1. Loki is the best villain of the first phase of the MCU.
I think he's up there.
Is there a better one? Is there a better
No, there is not a better
Obadiah.
one.
No. Loki is a great villain. They set him up so well, even though we all knew he was going to be evil.
Yes.
Are we? What were we talking about right now?
Loki
Thor.
from Thor?
Okay. Okay.
What are you talking about?
I'm just checking.
What are you?
I'm just checking.
Why are you checking?
I'm just checking.
No, explain
I'm
yourself,
just
mister.
checking.
No. Explain yourself, mister.
I'm
What
just
are you
making
checking
sure we're
for?
not skipping the best Phase 1 movie.
You're going to say Captain America? Really?
I-
We're
I
not
don't
skipping.
know. I don't know.
No, we haven't skipped
I
yet.
haven't said that Captain America: The First Avenger is my favorite Phase 1 movie of the MCU.
Did you know that it was actually not considered that when it came out?
I'm gonna have to disagree because
We
it's
haven't even
literally
talked about it yet.
unwatchable because of how skinny he is.
He looks so
Bring it back.
fucking weird. He's an asshole.
He's an asshole. Being so
It's
small.
unwatchable.
Honestly, all that talk,
about my penis.
all that talk about being heroic,
That's
and
on
being
camera.
brave and wanting to
They
go
can't
into
cut it
war
out.
no matter what it takes, even though he is not strong, is so assholeish of him because he's
Can
so
we
tiny.
finish talking about
He
Thor,
is
please?
Just he looks. No,
What were you about to say?
A twig. He looks like a twig. Is
No,
that what you were gonna
that
say?
was gonna be very offensive. I'm not saying.
What?
Very racist.
Excuse
I
me?
realized how offensive that joke was.
Oh,
Before you thought.
no. Boy, you can't make these jokes.
I'm not making that one.
Do I cut it out so you can say it?
No, it's fine.
Okay. I'll ask you after.
Okay.
Great. I'm keeping this all in so that you can berate him in the comments about it. So,
I'm sure someone would figure it
Thor 1, I think, is a fun... It has fun moments. But it's definitely my least favorite of the first phase.
out. I think I can agree with that.
And now we move up to one of the best movies of phase 2. Phase 1.
Apparently. Phase 2, yeah.
Captain America, the First Avenger. Tell us about the plot since you like it so much.
So Captain America: The First Avenger is my least favorite MCU movie. I'll tell you what. I'm just kidding. It is my
tell you
favorite
what.
of Phase 1.
I'll tell you what.
And I didn't realize that it was my favorite until rewatching all of these. Because I just there's something
Of Phase 1.
there's something about it that is so good. It's so grounded. in
It's Red Skull.
concept. It just makes it makes sense because they introduce early on. Oh, here's this cosmic force,
Mhm.
the Tesseract.
They do not hide from the fact that this is alien.
Right, exactly. Which is good. I think that does the movie a service because if they did hide from that fact, it wouldn't be as like, oh, it would feel like, oh, you're just forcing something into this.
Mm-hmm.
The What If Captain America episode, where they forced the freaking alien threat out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
We love that.
Anyway, but they make it clear right from the gate. Oh, here is this Nazi guy who has a cosmic force.
Sorry, YouTube.
Who has a cosmic force that is very dangerous. We don't know what it does quite yet, and he doesn't understand it completely either.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good because that makes the movie more grounded. Then we meet just the kid from Brooklyn who is just trying to get into the war, and he can't because he is, let's face it, he's not athletic. He's not, the beefiest guy.
He's not tall enough. He's not
tall
heavy
enough.
enough. He's not anything.
He's not that guy.
He cannot win a fight.
He's not that guy.
No matter how he tries.
But he tries.
But
Anyway.
it's his heart. It's his courage, his bravery, his boldness, and
He
his
dives
willingness.
onto a grenade and blows up.
No.
Yep, he
No.
just gets blown to parts.
Smithereens.
Dum Dum Dugan is like, oh, that sucks, and we move on.
Dum Dum, who's played by the actor who plays villains.
Yeah, what is his name?
His
Oh,
name.
Tommy Earl Jones.
That is no.
Yeah.
That is not Dum Dum.
Wait, no.
I'm talking about the guy with the big mustache.
Dum Dum Dugan is Neil. Neil. I met him. I
Neil
should know his
Armstrong.
name.
Neil Armstrong?
No.
Neil.
Neil Gaiman. No.
No.
Negan.
Neil. We're just gonna be stuck on this for a second.
Neil.
So let's talk about Captain America. What do you think?
Oh, sure.
Great. So I think it's a very fun movie, and it does a really good job of going through this character. Because Steve Rogers' character arc has nothing to do with becoming a better character, a better person. It's all about
He's still racist.
what?
What?
What did you say?
What?
What did you say?
Nothing.
Something you said.
His character arc doesn't start until Bucky dies.
Mm-hmm.
That's when
His character arc is
he
about.
starts changing.
Mm-hmm. It's not about becoming a better person.
No,
He's already the best person he can be.
literally, and that's why he's chosen
To be Captain America. Did you figure out his name?
No, it's Neil.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you back on that. Fuck. Damn it.
It's Neil something.
Just talk about what you're about to talk about. I'll find his name.
Neil.
Well, Captain America came from
I met him in
a
person.
time period where
He was really nice.
people were racist.
Oh, you can say that Captain America is racist.
Yes.
No.
And he was teleported to the future, and he was like, wow, black people are just equal to us now.
No, you can't
Okay, hold on.
say the
wait.
things you're saying
No,
on.
think about it this way.
No, don't say that.
And women? What? They're allowed
No,
to
no.
do this?
Think about it this way.
Neil Mc.
Neil McDonough. Thank you. Oh my God.
Now, what were
I'm
you
so
going to say?
upset. that you
Neil
took
McDonough.
so long to do that. Anyway,
I
continue.
met him.
I
What
know.
were you
Keep
gonna
going.
He was nice. I have a picture with him.
We have
What were you
we
gonna
have camera footage of him saying Captain America would be racist.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about it. In Captain
I don't
America:
wanna
The
think
Winter
about it. I
Soldier,
don't want to. I don't want to do it.
the first scene in which Captain America is seen, he spends the entire time picking on a black person.
We are uploading this video, right? We're allowed to do that.
He was teleporting to a future where he was like, "Wow, this isn't right, man."
No.
He wasn't
No.
used to it.
Oh,
He's
damn
like,
it!
And he was like, "Why do women have rights too? This isn't right."
He was wondering that when he went on that
He
recon
distinctly
mission with
did
Black
not
Widow.
do
He got so mad at her because she was not doing the job.
That
And
he
he
body
was
slammed her
like-
to a tree.
Wait,
He was like,
in what kind of manner? In a sexual
Like
sense?
he grabbed her by the throat and was like,
when he saw that she was like gathering intel for Shield, he was like, "Woman, get back in the kitchen
No.
before I force you in it."
Guys, no, I can't upload this anymore. We're gonna be canceled. I can't do this anymore. We have to stop.
Scarlett Johansson and Ryan Reynolds got divorced.
Can we please talk about Captain America: The First Avenger?
Yes, we can.
and then
Talk.
that leads
Your
into
favorite
Green
one.
Lantern,
I do love
Shut up.
Captain America: The First Avenger.
which
Talk.
Green
So,
Lantern
shut
was
up.
definitely in Phase 1 of Marvel.
So Red
Batman dies in
Skull
Infinity War
is Hugo Weaving. Hugo Weaving is amazing. He's
as Red
amazing.
Skull.
Great Red Skull.
Absolutely.
He also was in V for Vendetta.
I'm very happy you found a good
Very
spot for me to cut out everything we just said.
But I really like Red Skull because
He's a great villain.
he's like super simple,
I
Mhm.
prefer
But he has a
Purple
lot
Skull.
of depth to him.
and he does have that depth.
But
He's
he's a Nazi.
he is a Nazi, but he kills Nazis. So A+ in my book.
Here's the thing, though. He's not a Nazi. He's distinctly not. He is... The Red Skull in that movie is... He wants to make himself the most powerful.
The third.
He
Reich.
does not care about any of the Nazis. He does not care about the Nazis.
Yeah.
Which we said a lot in the past minute.
Nazis.
Nazis.
So.
Bees.
Now the Nazis are back. But he makes like this imposing villain, especially because before he is revealed as Red Skull, he's already terrifying. Like, he wipes out his own people and is itching red spot on his neck every now and then,
Which
which
is
is
so
very
uncomfortable.
disturbing. Yeah.
But very good.
And he eventually becomes full Red Skull, and it's terrifying, and it's like, oh my god. And also his voice is intimidating. So is his personality. His
Mhm.
personality is
He's just a
terrifying.
decent villain. I don't know why people said the MCU had a villain problem in the first phase.
I think
they
they,
were
had a
crazy.
villain problem in the second phase is what they did have.
Probably, yes.
And sort of third.
But like the first one, not really.
No, because they were feeling out their characters.
Exactly.
And it was better. And Red Skull isn't a copy of Captain America.
He is in the movie, technically.
I
He's
know
he's
he
a
has
super soldier
Nazi.
Nazi who's just the main character but evil.
He usually just uses a gun, and he took himself out of the movie.
No, they took him out of the movie.
They,
The
the
writers.
stone.
Don't you mean the Tesseract? The Cosmic Cube? Anyway, carry on. Keep talking. We're almost at an hour. Come on.
I really like just the entire movie and how it goes. It has a lot of heart behind it. Getting Howard Stark, that version of Howard
It's
Stark,
very fun to watch.
one of the best characters in
This
the
movie
MCU.
led into the actually really good show, Captain Carter. Not Captain
Agent
Carter.
Carter.
Agent
Carter,
Carter,
yeah.
sorry. Captain
Captain
Carter's the
Carter.
bad one.
has more of Howard Stark.
It
too.
does, yeah.
Um,
That was a good show. I
That
like
was
that show. Stop doing those noises, man. Stop it. Nobody wants to hear that.
but
Nobody wants to hear blah.
it's got a lot of heart behind it,
Mhm.
and it's got a lot of really good action scenes during war. The only movie I could really compare it to is the first Wonder Woman, which has a similar feel.
That's also a pretty good movie.
That is a pretty good movie too. I do like.
I
that
think
one a
Captain
lot.
America: First Avenger is better.
I think First Avenger did it better.
We're gonna ignore that it's just a mix of Thor and Captain America.
What? What are you talking about?
Anyway, carry on.
What?
What do you
mean?
What?
I just really like
Yeah.
that whole movie.
Yeah, and it's got one of the
Bucky.
best edited pieces, which is Bucky falling from the train. The best editing, best green screen.
Also, a cool ending.
He fell.
He did.
Yeah,
He did.
I
That's
almost-
it's a very cool and
I
very
almost said that in a
unexpected.
Kermit voice. I was like,
Oh,
and
it also-
very good ending.
It also shows how smart Steve
Mhm.
is.
He is not an idiot.
He is not an idiot.
but he is racist.
He hears
No,
the,
you can't keep saying the
he
Captain
hears the
America
radio
is
transmission,
racist.
and just from the radio transmission, he was like, "Something is wrong here," and that causes him to run out of the cleverly disguised room they had for him, and find out he's in the middle of Times Square in 2012.
He is not stupid.
He is not stupid, and it is a terrifying ending, but very
But he is.
And what was the post credit scene? I think it was just
That.
him.
cool. It was that.
It was that.
Yeah, the movie actually ends with him crashing in the ice, and then basically them talking about Captain America and how he will be a sign of hope
Mm-hmm.
throughout the ages, and shows the kid he saved
I
running
thought
through
it was
the streets
him
with.
punching the punching bag.
Well, that. Oh, maybe.
I think it's that.
No, it was the Times Square one.
No,
No,
don't
I think
so.
he's right because
It's him punching
that's
the punching bag.
the scene
Nick
from
Fury
the
coming up.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Wait,
No, because the Times Square one has to be.
hold on, because one of the post-credit scenes is the Avengers trailer. It might be that. Because I think he might be right that that other one is the
We
post-credit.
also didn't talk about the Thor post credits,
It had to be in the first one.
which was Loki
Oh yeah, that one.
manipulating Eric Selvig,
That one was pretty.
Mr. Skarsgård.
It turned out that Loki was alive.
Oh my gosh, what a surprise!
What is? You know, that was a really cool plot twist, and I'm
Totally
really glad they
unexpected.
didn't like do it again.
What?
Spoiler alert, they do.
3 times.
3 more times.
Uh-huh.
Spoilers.
Anyway, Captain America: The First Avenger. Final thoughts. Very good movie.
Very good.
Very fun. Very heartfelt. Just a lot of heart and soul was put into it,
Oh yeah.
and I don't think it was as well received when it came out.
No, no one liked it when it came out, which sucks.
But
It's
We
because of
get
how skinny he was.
the very first movie of its kind, the first Avengers.
It was the very first movie.
Avengers. The Avengers.
Uh
2012. 2012.
oh.
The first, I think one of the first movies that was like bringing all of the previous characters together in one movie.
Stinky.
Why are you saying uh-oh?
Someone hasn't seen the League of Extraordinary.
That's not the same damn thing, and you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Bringing characters from the previous movies in the same like world and coming together. The first Avengers movie is a great movie.
It is a very good
It's a
movie.
great
It's
movie.
the second best.
Or the first phase.
Of the first phase, yeah.
I think it's like the second
It's
best
what-
Avengers movie.
It is one of the best Marvel
Marvel.
movies, period.
Yeah, directed by Joss Whedon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing that's
Mhm.
true.
Correct.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a thing.
He directed Buffy the Vampire
He
Slayer.
also directed. Didn't he also direct Age of Ultron?
Yeah, he did, and he
Which
ran
is
that
weird.
into the ground.
'Cause that movie does not feel like a Joss Whedon movie.
Nope. Not at all.
Which makes me feel like it might not have been
You know what
But that
was
movie-
his fault, though?
many things.
Justice League.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
That was Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it was.
That was
It's
Warner
Joss
Brothers.
Whedon. Joss Whedon did that
It was
one.
Warner Brothers.
He did
Yes.
he did that one.
Yes.
And do you know what happened to Henry Cavill after that movie?
To who?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill.
We're talking about the first Avengers movie,
Henry Cavill
which
was
is great,
shot
and
killed.
that's also the first time we
Like
see
last week.
Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, who I think he does a really good job playing the tortured man.
That
Henry
was a
Cavill
really
as
great
Hulk.
introduction to him, by the way,
Mhm.
because the whole introduction was Black Widow goes to this other country
And
and
You need to find
is
the big guy.
following
You know, Stark
leads.
doesn't trust me as far as he can throw me. No, I said that. Oh, I got Stark. I said the big guy. And she's like, "Oh, shit."
Yeah, so the whole thing is her just following leads, trying to figure out where Banner is, because she knows the city, doesn't know where he is in the city,
Mm-hmm.
and
Even though they probably could have told her the whole time.
yeah, because they found him immediately without her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit of plot hole there.
Uh-huh.
But she follows these leads and kind of manipulates a child a little bit to find him.
Yeah, she bribes the
Normal
child with
things.
money.
normal things.
And it's a very
No,
cool
the child-
introduction.
Oh yeah, she does make the child give him money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Edward Norton, it picks up where his character left off, and it's seamless.
Not exactly, because left off with him in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, and hiding.
Yeah, he's not there.
No, but it picks up where he left off of just
Hiding,
hiding in another
being
country.
away.
That's kind of like,
Uh-huh.
it parallels with the beginning of The Incredible Hulk. He didn't like that.
I had to yawn.
He didn't like that.
No, I
I
hate
said
him.
that, and he went,
I went.
She tried to melt into a puddle upon hearing that.
ding.
I'm milking.
Oh.
I'm milking. What?
I'm milking. Celsi is milking.
Yes, dim udders. Let's go. Let's move on.
Repeats the mic.
I'm so tired.
So, the Avengers movie is very good. It gets every character that was in the last 5 movies.
years.
And one of the best characters ever, Phil Coulson.
Phil Coulson. It was great.
Who
And I
dies
was?
really soon.
What do you mean? Was. I haven't seen the Avengers.
He was a great character.
He was very
Phil
good.
Coulson
Was.
gets murdered
son of
by
Cole?
Loki. Yeah, son of Cole. I love that joke. That's from Thor.
Yeah, it is.
That one is
That's a very
great
funny joke. Bill, son of Cole. Because that's how they are.
Yep.
That's how it would be.
It's a very good joke.
Anyway.
And it's so
The Avengers is a very fun movie. And it starts with Loki just taking over a bunch of people and Hawkeye.
Loki is like
Terrifying in that movie.
he is terrifying. He is unhinged, and they explain it with being under the influence of Thanos. But I like
At the
that.
time.
I like that they explain how he was under the influence of Thanos. Not that he was mind controlled. He was fully aware of what he was doing. It was just the presence of Thanos that overcame him, and all the hatred he had for Thor after the events of Thor. That was good. He was manipulated, but not mind controlled as everyone kind of thought. No, he wasn't mind controlled. He was aware of what he was doing, and it's proven in Loki, which is a great show.
Great show.
But the Avengers, is just a spectacle of chaos up until this one moment, which is where the Avengers assembled for the first time. The little plaque.
We have a
in
Hulk.
Hawkeye. That's
One of the best lines of the movie.
and
I have an army. We have a Hulk.
and it's really cool that they get all these characters who are very different from each other, very different.
A lot
very
of them don't
different
like
movies.
each other.
A lot of them
Kill
don't
them
like each
all
other.
immediately.
Yep, they all died immediately.
Absolutely, yes.
And that was
Batman dies in Infinity War.
I also love the beginning of the movie. Well, it's not the beginning. I guess it's more middle. But when there are like at each other's throats.
You could tell because the stone, the staff influencing them.
Yeah, and they're just like yelling at each other, ripping each other apart, and Tony says the line, "Everything special
I know what you're gonna bring
about
up.
you
Mhm.
came out of a bottle" to Steve, and then Steve says, "You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play." Both
Uh-huh.
of these things are proven time and time again to be wrong
Mhm.
throughout even this movie.
Uh-huh.
Like, the whole point was, yeah, Tony is not the guy that would sacrifice. Or so you think, because at the end of the movie,
He is always
He-
trying. He is always sacrificing himself
exactly,
to save people.
that's how people perceive him, but that's not how he is. He is the sacrificial guy. He nearly sacrifices his life right at the end of the movie
With a nuke.
with a nuclear bomb, and
And he does later, and it works.
he
Finally.
freaking kills every creature.
Chitauri.
Yeah, all the Chitauri in one fell swoop. And this nearly kills them. It also gives them a whole entire roster of mental problems and
Because he's
PhD.
constantly trying to do that.
PTSD.
yep, PTSD, and it that really fucks.
I
them.
think Avengers 1 is very good iterations of every single character, including Thor. He's so much more interesting
Oh
in
yeah,
this movie.
Thor and the Avengers is so much
They
better.
still bleached his eyebrows.
Yeah, they did.
In
Why
Iron
did
Man?
they do
They
that?
In Avengers 1?
Avengers 1 and Thor, they bleached his eyebrows
Yep.
and he wore a wig.
Yep.
The rest of the
Why?
movies, he did not wear a wig. And
He still definitely wore a wig.
no, he didn't wear a wig.
For you tell me he didn't wear a wig for Dark World?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
His hair was actually that long?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's true.
I'm pretty sure that he actually grew it out for Dark World, and then Thor Ragnarok, I think they did the wig thing still. But same with Age of Ultron, like it was actually grown out. I think is what the story is.
But I think that's great versions of all the characters. Also, some of the best lines that are so iconic. Like, I understood that reference.
I understood that reference.
I understood that.
I love that moment because it's so exciting for
It's
Steve.
so simple.
Like, he doesn't have
What's up
things.
with you and the mouth sounds? This is not ASMR.
He doesn't have
I'm bored. Are you
um,
bored?
things to relate to in this world. Everything that he knew was outdated or dead, unfortunately.
Both.
But one thing that's constant is the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is a big thing, which is really funny because as we're recording this, Wicked is at its
Yep.
height.
Yes, it is.
But he's like, oh, I understood that Wizard of Oz reference.
I got it.
And he's really excited about that because, oh, yeah, everyone gets Wizard of Oz, and he would have seen the movie because it came out in like 1932.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's such a good movie. It's so many good things.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't have the thing that people call the MCU effect with jokes that undermine every situation.
That's the
Which
thing.
here's the thing though. Most MCU movies aren't like that. Most of them are not like that.
Most.
In phase 1 and phase 2. Most of them aren't like that.
I do agree.
It doesn't start
But-
until a certain point, and I don't remember what that point is.
It starts with. I want to say it starts with not Dark World, but like right after that. Probably Guardians of the Galaxy. As good as that movie is.
That movie doesn't do that
might
either.
be well, that's the thing. They wanted to be like Guardians of the Galaxy. They wanted to be.
No, I
funny
know
like
that.
Guardians.
I think it
So they
started
forced
in Ragnarok.
No, it definitely was before that
I don't
because
think
you had
so.
Doctor Strange and Ant-Man.
Neither of which did that. Ant-Man... No, here's the thing. Having jokes does not make it bad.
No.
Which both
that's
Ant-Man
not
and
what I'm
Doctor
saying.
Strange are.
But Doctor Strange and Ant-Man have plenty of moments where they killed the tension with a joke.
Yes, but I'm saying that those movies don't do that to the egregious amount that everyone says they do.
No, that's more. Yeah, that's more modern Marvel. But the problem
No, but
started.
that's what everyone thinks it is.
Well, that's
Which
not
I don't
true.
think it starts until Ragnarok, which does do that.
I don't think Ragnarok does do that.
I think it does.
I don't think it kills the tension with jokes. It has a lot of jokes. And it is.
I
very
think
much
it
a comedy.
started in Ragnarok.
I think a lot of movies wanted to be Ragnarok.
But here's the thing.
Which was the problem
actually,
with Love and Thunder.
I can tell you exactly where it started. And it didn't start, and the MCU effect didn't even start in the first 3 phases. It started in Endgame. That is the big, that is the most egregious example.
No, because we have Ant-Man and the Wasp before that.
Okay.
Mm.
Ant-Man and the
was
Wasp does not do it as much as Endgame does.
Ant-Man and the Wasp does it more.
Okay.
It
Still,
was terrible.
everyone thinks that's the MCU from the very end.
Which, you know,
It's unfair.
Is wrong. That is wrong.
Now, here's the thing though. After that point, a lot of the shows and stuff were like that.
Yeah, She-Hulk, which I guess She-Hulk's an unfair example because it is a comedy, but it does take serious characters.
It's the fact that
early.
everyone said that that's the MCU movies are like, but that didn't start until like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now there were moments where that happened, but that wasn't like the whole movie.
Yeah, which is the whole Love and Thunder.
But like Endgame had a lot of examples like that.
I don't think so.
Specifically Cheese Whiz.
The-
Right as he was
okay.
trying to snap.
Thor,
Mm-hmm.
terrible part of Endgame. Thor, I will not be like, oh yeah, he was great. No, Thor was the worst part of Endgame, hands down. The way that they handled Thor is abysmal. But everything else, I think, is
Why? Well, we're not talking about Endgame actually. We're talking about Avengers 1. I brought up Endgame because you said it was like Ant-Man, but it wasn't. It was much later in the MCU,
Ant-Man and the Wasp is kind of started.
which is directly before Endgame.
Yeah.
Like a year.
Not even. It's only a few months. Before
Exactly. Anyway,
Oh, they
Avengers
What
1
was
and
that?
that close to each
I'm
other.
agreeing with you.
No,
What
you're
the-
not. Anyway, Avengers 1 is a great movie. It does have a lot of jokes, but it also has a lot of heart and a lot of serious moments that are not undercut by jokes. Which, again, my point is that it did not happen as often as people thought it did.
Yeah, which is true. That's definitely true for phase 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 3 is kind of where it starts, and then phase 4 is
He's
what it
egregious.
Yeah, but people already thought it was egregious before Phase 4.
is. Which is just the opposite of nostalgia. It's like, oh, I'm sick of this thing,
Because
so
it's popular.
everything before
But-
it was bad.
Specifically, Avengers 1.
Mhm.
Very good movie. I really like the movie. I think it's still great to this day. And that it's not going to change, I don't think.
The Avengers 1 actually just got canceled a few minutes ago. So
Canceled? What?
yep, they said
They're
that
deleting
Tony Stark,
everything from phase
um,
one.
forcing the nuke into space is very against alien culture.
They said it's
so-
racist, so they need to cancel him
It's
by killing
it's
him later in
xenophobic.
the series.
Xenophobic, yeah.
It's xenophobic.
So, Phase 1 of the MCU. What do you guys think?
As a whole, phase 1
Both
is
of you.
very good.
It's a very
Um,
good first beginning.
It
Getting their bearings.
it's the foundation for sure. That's what makes the MCU what it is.
Movies, like we talked about earlier, that
Mhm.
Thor was just
No,
not
it was a little boring.
just,
But it still had a lot of good moments in it.
it's still enjoyable though. It's just that Thor
It
is
had
not-
moments that were good.
not the best in his own movie, which
And
is
the
a
ending
crime.
of Iron Man 2 is not great.
Yes, the ending of Iron Man 2 is not great.
And Whiplash makes it better.
Mhm.
But
Even though
also,
he-
Whiplash was the reason the ending was not great.
It's not, I don't think
Yeah.
that's Whiplash's fault.
It's
Well, I mean, it's not his character's fault,
No,
but
it's the
it is the
writer's
writing's
fault.
fault.
Yeah.
The actor's fault,
And
let
I-
me say. Because
on a-
Whiplash
okay,
is the but
rank
it
them.
was just the end.
Rank the movies of Phase 1.
Captain America 1, The Avengers 2, Iron Man
The
3.
Avengers- You know, you can just go You don't need to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Captain America, the Avengers, Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor.
Want to know what the difference is? I'm literally just gonna swap Iron Man 1 and Captain America.
Fair enough.
Actually, yeah.
Same.
Same. Because that's like
Do we have the
Iron,
exact same?
Iron
ranking?
Man is first, Captain America is second.
Okay, so you're just swapping Captain
Yeah.
America and Avengers.
Because honestly, Iron Man was like my favorite Marvel character
I love that you
at
can,
all times.
I love that we can all agree on what the top 3 are and what the bottom
And
3.
then for
Yeah.
and then for DC, it was Batman, so it was pretty much the rich characters.
I like rich billionaires.
But
Then you-
Elon Musk is my favorite.
Then you saw Dawn of Justice and you're like, Batman, no.
yeah.
Batman, maybe not.
Batman, man.
But honestly, when I was little, seeing Iron Man was just so cool. Especially
He's so cool.
every scene where he was putting on his armor, I was like,
Wow, fucking awesome.
it blew up
There was
my
a TV
mind.
show that made me get into the character. It was called Iron Man Armored Adventures. It was an amazing show, and I love it so much. It got me into the character, and it came out around the same time the movie did.
Also, his older suits, way better. Especially just all the
It
mechanical
feels
parts
real.
coming together.
They all feel real.
Instead of just like,
Nanotech.
oh, wow, it's me now.
I liked the really wholesome, family-friendly moment
Oh,
in
no.
Iron Man
Of
1
the Hulk
where he-
Buster.
where he agrees to participate in an orgy later.
With
My
the Pied
favorite part
Piper.
was when he has coitus with the person from Brown. And then Pepper says she's taking out the trash, talking about her.
My
That's a
favorite
good
part
line.
of Iron Man 2 was where he went to Whiplash and was like, can you whip my lash?
Did he? What? Yeah.
Lash my whip, G. And then jumped up.
Phase 1 of the MCU final thoughts.
Final boss.
That's with you.
Final bots.
Oh,
It's very good.
thoughts.
Phase
It's like-
1
it's
is
like final boss. I was like, what?
Yeah, final boss is Loki, actually.
Yeah.
Phase 1 is very enjoyable. It is still to this day very good.
It's very good.
I think
And
Phase 1 is probably the second best.
It's when everything came
Phase
together.
3 is probably where the height of MCU and where it was, the best
It's where it
movies.
died.
But Phase
It also-
1 is unbeatable.
It's special.
I think. It is very special.
Because that's when everything started.
And I still think Iron Man 1 is the best one.
And I really like Iron Man 1 as an origin movie. It's very good. But I have a bias, and it's a little bit because
Doctor Strange.
No.
Yeah,
I
like
do
that.
not care about the Doctor Strange origin story. That was
Uh-huh.
a joke.
Don't care about it? What?
It was okay.
Anyway, we're not talking about that.
No. But I have a little bit of a bias.
Mhm.
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is
That
still
is
my
not an
favorite
MCU
origin
movie.
story. Well, if we're talking about origin stories, and technically it is an MCU
No.
movie because no,
No. Does not make it an
became
MCU
canon.
movie.
Blade is an MCU movie.
No,
It became canon.
that is not how it works.
Elektra
If it was
is
not made for the
unfortunately an
MCU, it is
movie.
not an MCU movie.
Deadpool 1 is an MCU.
No. Deadpool 3 is...
X-Men Origins Wolverine is
No!
an MCU movie.
It's not!
Yeah.
I don't think Shang-Chi's a great origin movie. Anyway, what were we gonna say?
It's not really an origin movie.
Yes, it is. Anyway, what were we gonna say?
Because he's not Shang.
Anyway, what were you
He
gonna say?
doesn't become Shang.
Come on. What were you gonna say?
I was just thinking of origins. I don't know.
Were you thinking of your origin?
I think a really good origin story is Captain America.
Final thoughts. First phase, there.
Peak. Son of a-
Are you Martin Scorsese's? Because you wouldn't say that about Marvel Cinematic.
No, you would say those are very good
phase
roller coaster
1.
rides.
Phase 1. Peaks.
I think Martin Scorsese's would put you on a cross for saying that.
Scorsese's? Why are you saying Scorsese's?
I don't know.
Are there more than one of them?
There are 3. Oh my god.
You're just including all three.
But anyway, do you
Just
have
to
any
get that
actual
out.
thoughts about the first phase?
I am.
All right, yeah, Iron Man 1.
Wow, okay.
I think first phase of the MCU is very good, and it got pretty much everyone into the franchise, into the MCU in the first place. It wouldn't exist without the first.
Well,
films.
it definitely got me into it, and then I stopped until years later, where Izzy offered me to watch more.
Mhm.
Which,
You clearly want to say something. Go
which
ahead.
is just WandaVision. It started there.
Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Jeremy
And
Renner,
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth,
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson,
Edward Norton.
Mark Ruffalo. Enough said.
Okay.
What? What did you say?
You know what? I think that's going to be the end of this TV Trifecta episode. Thank you everyone for watching. That's the TV. We're the Trifecta. See you in the next one.
Try.
Try.
Don't say TVs this time. TV shows.
I'm saying TVs.
No, don't say TVs. I
I'm
will
just gonna
correct
say
you.
shows
again.
and video games.
I will correct you.
I hope so. Okay. You good, Colton?
Mhm.
You good to stick your head down? Right in between
Alright.
my legs?
No.
That's on camera. And might be kept in. Who knows?
Who knows?